I didn't deserve to have this. It was more of like...
But that's how you were feeling.
Yes.
You can't dismiss that.
Yes, that I don't know why I'm like this. It's not that I have experienced anything to make it count.
So then what was that change in that? Because there had to be something that clicked for you to be like, it's okay.
Yeah, it took me 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it started when you were 12.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's really where, I mean, it didn't just start when she was 12, but that was the beginning of the process and understanding that there's something wrong.
Yes.
Because depression doesn't just mean that's one title. You're 19, 20 now.
Yeah.
And you're going to the psychiatric ward without your mom, with just yourself.
Yeah.
And you're meeting all these people and you're in this whole other world. But you seem to be very receptive of, I want to know your life. I want to know what's going on. But you're also probably in this mindset of, like you just said, I felt hopeless almost. And I didn't understand why I have this.
And it was a lot because no one talked about it. And I never saw anyone that was successful with a mental illness.
Hey everyone, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a unique world where everyone who has a unique story and a unique disability and a unique circumstance has the opportunity to share with you why they are beautiful and why they matter and why they have proven their way that when adversity strikes you, you can continue to push past that. Yes, I know this is really random, but as I'm editing part 2 to Stephanie West Potter's video, right now it's 11 p.m. at night, I realized I didn't really give a proper intro to part 2. So I just thought I would come on here to let you guys know that part 2 of this story is not only going to get even more deeper, more honest, and just more authentic, but you are going to hear some amazing programs, you are going to hear some amazing tips and tricks that Stephanie has taken from her experience and is giving it to you guys. So please make sure that you check out the links in the description down below. And did I mention, give this video a like down below, comment if you can, and or hit that notification bell if you can. YouTube's doing some weird changes, but we're all going to conquer those changes and continue giving you guys the best content here on the Beyond the Beauty with Lindsay and in this series of A Unique World. So with that being said, again, give this video a like down below, comment what you loved about this video in part 2, and stay tuned for later in this video because there will be a part 3 coming very, very soon. Again, thank you so much for sharing this video with your friends and family, and thank you so much for believing in me and the projects that I continue to work very hard to produce and everything else. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're having a great day, month, whatever year that you are watching this and when you are watching this. And I cannot be more grateful to have you guys here, have you guys watching the series, and to most of all just have you following my journey and others' journeys as well. Everything you'll need, it will be down below, so make sure you check that out. Give this video a like again, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you for part 3. And most likely I'll see you sooner than later, but I figured I'd throw a little intro in here for all of you beautiful people. I can't wait to see you guys soon for when we finish out this series in a couple more months. We're not done. So stay tuned and let's get right back into Stephanie West Potter's beautiful story.
You know, I looked at having bipolar, having any kind of mental illness, as someone that will eventually be put in a straitjacket, locked up in a padded room.
So you really had never been around anyone else with a disability?
No,
wow.
Not at all.
Wow.
No, and I didn't consider myself as someone with a disability either.
Right,
yes.
So then what happened? Because now you're kind of starting to understand, okay, I have bipolar, I have this now, and I'm taking medication, and you're clearly you're soon figuring out, probably, I need to tell my friends.
Yeah.
I need to tell my family, because I'm sure your mom knew.
Yeah. What really helped, honestly, is that my mom started getting involved with NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Perfect.
She started going to meetings and finding out more about mental illness.
How to understand it as your mom.
And then she started just sending me, like, scientific information about the chemical imbalance that I have, and that it is genetic,
and it's okay to have that.
Yes, yes. And then I started meeting other people, and the big change for me the big aha moment that I had.
Right.
Is that there's a musical called Next to Normal.
Yeah.
That is about a woman with bipolar disorder.
Okay.
That the local community theater put on.
Awesome.
And it's a pretty intense show.
Right.
And so...
But it explains the story.
Yeah.
So beautifully,
yeah, but because it's so intense, they thought that it was really important to have a talkback session after the show.
Love.
And so I got an email that said that they were asking for people that the panel included family members, law enforcement, mental health professionals.
Wow, so variety.
Yeah, and
Love
then
this.
people that had mental illness.
Right.
And so I grew up doing theater my whole life, and
Totally can see, yeah.
and I had actually done a show at this community theater, and so I was like, I think I'm just gonna do it. Like I'm gonna sign up for it. And I had never talked to the people in my life about it. Like I had been super silent and ashamed and not talking about it at all. And for some reason, I decided this was it, that I needed to do this.
And you just felt that there's no explanation.
Yeah. Wow. And so I was on the panel, and it felt really freeing just to talk about it.
I can only imagine that, and to know you're not going to be judged, and this is what it is, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then after it was over, and then I walked out into the lobby where all the people are gathering, and this mother and daughter came up to me, and the girl was 18, and they told me that she had just been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And she was terrified. And by hearing my story, even though at that point I felt like I was still a failure and I had not achieved anything, but by hearing my story and hearing what I had gone through and that I had survived it, they felt hope for the first time. And like in that moment, like I was like, that's my purpose.
That there's a reason.
Yeah.
You started to feel like there's a purpose and a design. It's not a negative.
Yes.
Love this.
Yes. And I also, I just realized in that moment that I want to be the voice that I needed to hear.
Say that again.
I needed to be the voice that I needed to hear. And I think about so many times that when I was 12 and I was first diagnosed, if I would have seen someone like me that had been successful with a mental illness, like I wouldn't have felt so ashamed
100%.
And alone.
Right. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Because some of you know this who watch this, people who know me are watching this, I grew up with the same thing of not knowing. I was the only person in my family at the time who had a disability, or because of my hearing and vision, and just with having depression. And so it was, you have depression, you're not going to amount to anything. And you have visual and hearing impairments, you're not going to do anything. Meanwhile, I have all these other people at that time in my life going to college, doing all these things, and also we never got a for sure answer. And so when you see someone speaking, I can only imagine if I were to see someone like you, like I get to now, which is a blessing, but then I probably would have felt like, man, if she can do it, I can do it too. Yeah. And that's how that young woman felt. And then for you, you're like, wow, if I'm changing one person's life, I guess I can do this.
Yeah.
Even though you're still learning, because you're still in that moment. It's not like you said, I was still almost into my 30s and I still hadn't got it yet, but you started to find your purpose. Yes. So then what was that next? So now how did you end up with this job that you have now? Where did that connection go? Because I feel like from that speaking engagement on its own, that sparked where you are now.
Totally did.
That's so awesome. Yeah,
it just, I think that everybody has a purpose. Absolutely. Yep. Everyone has a purpose.
It sounds cheesy, but it's so real.
So cheesy. Yes. Everybody has a purpose. And that moment that I just felt this inkling like, I need to cultivate this a little bit. And I never graduated from college.
I didn't either.
I still don't have a degree.
Same.
And it was just, it was something that I had...
And at the time, you had to have a degree to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Like, I was so ashamed of myself because that was not my plan. Like, I had a plan figured out. Like, no one in my family...
Insert the meme where it's like 19, I had this, 23, you're supposed to have a baby, insert that meme.
Yes.
That's so the real, what everybody thought it should have been.
Yeah, and like, in my family, there was no question of, like, you're not going to college kind of thing.
Oh, same. It was like you had to go to college because that was going to be your way to get to where you were.
Yeah, definitely. I was so ashamed of myself.
Because you were doing everything different than what you would know.
Absolutely.
Right.
And at that point, whenever I had done this talkback session, I'm pretty sure I was still a temp. I was doing temp jobs at that time, just like 3 months.
But you're still doing something. So
yeah, I think I was like filling in for a woman on maternity leave or something. You know, that moment, it made me feel empowered enough to then find a volunteer job.
Awesome.
That made me feel like I was fulfilling the things that my employment wasn't doing.
It's also not about the money either.
Yeah. It's about feeling good and feeling like you're contributing to society.
Right.
And then eventually, I mean, that was 7 years ago.
Which is why I would not get that.
I was applying for disability at that point. Like, I was like ready to give up and like
just live on that and just
live on $700 a month.
Isn't that wild?
Like, yeah. So I was just, I thought that's what I needed to do because I was sick and I was damaged
and at the time too, disabilities meant that you were to do nothing with your life and just live in your parents' basement and that's it. You weren't enough. So the fact that you were already on this track of realizing, wait a second, what I'm being told isn't true, and what I'm wanting to do, but I don't know how to get there, but I want to do this. You found your reassurance and your goals again.
Yes.
That probably was amazing.
Yes. Absolutely.
How did you find this volunteer internship, basically?
I just started finding different things that I was passionate about.
Right.
Like, I got involved. Yeah, I got involved with NAMI.
Awesome.
And I started doing political work for a while. I was working on a campaign for the Secretary of State for an election.
Incredible.
Yeah, and then I really realized a lot of times it's who you know, not what you know.
Absolutely, and some young adults don't understand that.
Yes.
And even adults now. Definitely that's helpful. And we're also in this awesome day and age, or in 2019, 2020 when this comes out. You don't need a degree to have a job anymore. I mean, a degree helps, but it's really on your experience.
Yes.
Which is so amazing.
Yeah.
Because that pressure of having to have a degree doesn't help anybody.
No.
And I think that when you can show by trust and by your experience and by action, that says it all.
Yeah.
So then you're doing all these jobs.
Yeah. But there were so many things that I was like, oh, that sounds great, but I'm not qualified for it because I don't have the degree.
Right.
And there was a Christmas, it was in 2015, no?
Right.
14. That I was driving back from my parents' house from Christmas, and I just thought, like, I need more out of my life, and I don't know what it is. But something just came to me that I need to find a nonprofit that will look past my education and look at who I am and what I can offer. Yeah. And no joke, 2 days later, my mom got an email from the director of NAMI, Kansas.
Yes. That gives me chills.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, saying that there was this...
Oh.
Yes, that there's position... as an advocate.
And had you told your mom about what was in your mind?
Yeah, I did. Yes. Okay. I told my mom.
I was gonna say that would be more of a like, what?
Yeah. I told my mom everything.
No,
So got this email and forwarded it to me right away, and I looked at the job description and I was not qualified for it. They asked for a college degree, but I just thought, like, what the hell?
Yeah, just can't hurt. Yeah. Because at that point it's a no. Can only fuel you to be like, all right, cool, I'm still gonna find a way.
Yeah, I knew that I wanted to do something to help people, and like being a disability advocate felt amazing.
Right.
And so I just decided to do it, and I applied and ended up getting the job.
What?
And I worked.
How did that feel? Did that surprise you?
Amazing. Oh yeah, totally surprised. I remember I got to go to the national conference like 2 months after I started, so I got to go to Indianapolis.
That shows so much belief in yourself. Like, how did that feel? That they even did that.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Like, I have so many selfies of me like in my
I will
office.
see. I will be posting them on the video.
Yes.
But that is incredible.